Alright, we're on a quiet part of the run, so let's tell a story. So one of the questions that I frequently get asked is, what happens when they chase a squirrel? Well, generally nothing. They might speed up, but they don't leave the road and go after it or go ditch hopping or anything like that. And part of the reason that is because of the initial training that they got. Little background here first. When Herman and Hilda were first being trained, I just had a little two-wheel cart. The thing is all metal, it's pretty well indestructible, and I just walk beside them. There's no box on it to haul anything, it's just wheels and shafts, and you hook them up and off they go. We started out just walking on a lead, and we'd progress to the point where they were kind of following along. They weren't on a lead, but they could stop and sniff, and we'd go for walks, and we'd walk out so far, and then we'd get so far, and then we'd turn around and head back, and Herman would be hooked up first, and then Hilda, or vice versa, and whoever wasn't hooked up would just be wearing their harness just to get them used to everything. So we're out there, and they're free ranging, sniffing and everything. Well, it happened to both of them. They decided to go ditch hopping with the cart attached to them, being hooked up. So they go off after the squirrel, and they get about 2 feet into the ditch. The cart hangs up on the grass, and there they sit. And I'm a firm believer in FAFO. So as long as they're not hurt, they get to figure it out. And the expression on their face when the cart stops and gets hung up in the grass, first it's like, well, why can't I go forward? And then they look at me and well, help me out because I'm hung up here. And I look at them and say, well, you got yourself into it, you're not hurt, figure it out. And then you get to start watching the gears click. And there's a little bit of thrashing around usually as they try to figure things out and get turned around. But then within a couple minutes they run through the cycle of, well, that didn't work, let me try this. Well, that didn't work, let me try this. And you can see them processing everything, and they get back out of the ditch. If they really seriously get hung up, I'll give them a hand with it. But for the most part, they do it themselves. And it usually takes them 2 to 3 times. Hilda, it took, I think, a couple times. She's pretty persistent about going after squirrels. But they ditch dive, get hung up, and then they'd figure it out on their own, and they'd deal with their consequences. And now when we're on a run, they might speed up and get all excited about a squirrel, but they don't go off the road with me, and it's kind of cool. So there we go. That is why they don't go ditch hopping.